This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
So, hello.
Well, let's get back to it.
Temperatures are expected to remain warm in most areas, and I certainly hope that your area remains warm. Temperatures will sit in the low 70 degrees Fahrenheit through the weekend for the whole of the UK. And I suppose that I'm going to have to translate Her Majesty's Fahrenheit to newfangled European meddling surrender centigrade for the benefit of Ramonas. No! So let's see, 70 degrees to centigrade. You multiply by 9, divide by 5 and add 32 to get from Fahrenheit to centigrade. So 70 times 9 is 280. Divide 280 by 5. Let's make it easy. Make it 300. Divide 300 by 5. That's 70. 70 plus 32 is 112. Wow. It's going to be 112 degrees centigrade this weekend. Can you believe that?
No.
Senior Meteorological Office Senior Office Meteorologist Rachel said, today brought showers across north and northeast England and southeast Scotland, some of which were heavy with a chance of local thunderstorms. You know, Senior Met Office meteorologist Rachel is very good at predicting what the weather has already done.
Oh, fabulous.
I could do that. Tomorrow the band of rain will weaken, but showers will break out. Some could be locally heavy with a risk of local thunderstorms, especially in the southwest. Therefore, a risk of some heavy showers for Glastonbury.
Groovy.
Still, never mind. You've got tents. Stop whining. Northern Ireland and parts of western Scotland could see some longer spells. Yeah. I bet they could. What is that noise? What is that noise? I can hear you in here. Why is that? Never mind. I'll pretend it didn't happen. I'll work through it. I'm a trained professional. Northern Ireland and parts of western Scotland could see longer spells of rain with heavy bursts, while the north and the west could experience strong winds with the risk of coastal gales. Well, that certainly sounds like the northwest. Checking for you while you wait. Aha. Yep, just as I suspected. Rain. This is Glasgow. Raining tonight and what? Not raining tomorrow? Oh no, yep, raining a little bit. And then raining on Sunday and raining on Monday and raining on Tuesday. And then, let's see, raining a little bit on Wednesday and raining on Thursday and raining on Friday. Raining every day for the rest of your lives. Damn it! Never mind. It's just weather. At the end of this weekend, cloudy with outbreaks of rain in the northwest. Elsewhere, a mixture of sunny spells and scattered showers. Strong winds in the north and the west with the risk of coastal gales, breezy elsewhere. That's sort of tonight-ish. As an overview, I'll be more specific now. Saturday, rain, locally heavy, feeling cooler with sunny spells and scattered blustery showers.
Dreadful.
That's awful. It's summer. Outlook for Sunday to Tuesday. Sunny spells, scattered showers, heaviest in the north and the west. Then longer spells of rain on Tuesday. Breezy and feeling cooler.
Oh, no.
Cooler? Well, with that in mind, would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
No, I didn't think you would. Prepare yourself. Now, this is for the last week in June, the first week in July. You ready? Through the end of June, the west will have showers, heavy at times, and the east drier with some sunshine. Winds moderate or strong. The unsettled conditions are likely through the first week of July, perhaps bringing longer spells of rain to the north. Southern areas lightly staying drier, temperatures near normal. That's the next 2 weeks. Not that great. Then, the middle 2 weeks of July. This is it, people. This is proper summer. Good luck, everyone. Fingers crossed. Middle 2 weeks of July. At first, unsettled conditions in the north, which may travel south near the middle of the month. Then, more settled for a time, which is what we want to hear. Temperatures throughout will be close to or a little above average, but possibly becoming very warm or hot in the south near the end of the period. Possibly becoming very warm or hot in the south near the end of the period? We'll take it. This is a very suspiciously keen caller in Hull. Charles.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Yes, Charles. What do you want?
I'm literally just about 100 yards outside my home. I'm in the street out in the air.
Is that wise?
Well, I'll let you know if my right leg suddenly becomes quite a little bit difficult.
Right. Okay. I want you to let me know straight away that happens. All right. Pop it on a postcard and stick it in the post.
Bear with me. I was yesterday. I was outside a major supermarket waiting at the bus stop in Hull.
Minding your own affairs. Da 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 da.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And there was a woman there. She was vaguely Spanish. It turned out she
wait a
came
minute.
from Peru.
Wait. What does vaguely Spanish mean?
Well, she looked very sort of. She had the dress and the accent, shall we say?
Right. She was eating tapas at the time.
Yeah.
Go on.
not at the bus stop, but it's an idea. But anyway, so it turns out she was from Peru, and I said, "Oh, General Pinochet was allowed in London, and Margaret Thatcher let him off. She allowed him to leave London after a couple of days."
Mm-hmm. Let him off. Go on.
And she said, "Oh yes." And I don't like that Prime Minister Johnson. And I was a bit taken aback. He lies just like the right-wing leaders in Peru. I do not like Prime Minister Johnson.
Right.
Well,
are you translating from the
okay.
original Spanish, or is she actually speaking like this?
Well, she was very vehement.
Right.
Very vehement.
Yeah.
I was
I
a
can
little
imagine
taken aback.
being accosted at a bus stop.
Yeah, it's almost like we're still in a fight between the left and the right.
Who are? We are.
Over who wins, and at the moment the right wing are winning with Prime Minister Johnson, but you never know what's going to happen in the future.
That was our bus stop correspondent from Hull called Charles. Thank you, Charles. Catch up with you next week. By the way, tapas at the bus stop does sound like an excellent idea for a business, no?
No.
Tapas at the bus stop. Biked over to you at a moment's notice while you're standing there waiting for the 38. It's not coming. They're on strike. Damn it! Ken emails, "Hi Nick, with Prime Minister Nobby away." Can I read that word? Can I say that word out loud? No. Ken emails, "Hi Nick, with Prime Minister Nobby away, bleeping around in Rwanda, isn't it reassuring to know that we have someone of the calibre of Dominic Raab at the helm? What could possibly go right?" He's written Dominic Rhubarb. What, angular, tetchy humanoid Dominic Deckchair Raab? Come back, Bodge, straight away, we mean it. Mikey in Hampshire says, "Hi Nick and glamorous producer. I can no longer look at Bodger without thinking of Peppa Pig. Can any other listeners help us with this?" Peppa Pig? Why do you think that?
Peppa Pig World. Peppa Pig World it has
yes.
Peppa Pig
is the right answer. Very good, Bodge. God, what a week, eh? I mean, we were expecting it, but still. And the responses. Oh, you could virtually write the script for them. They're like robots.
Affirmative.
They just get programmed and sent scurrying around the various TV studios to spout out all manner of garbage. But we knew exactly what it was that they were going to say. And they said it. I'll get into that in a minute. Rich emails, "Do you think that Labour should use the Scream by Edvard Munch as the caption? Can you handle another 5 years of Boris on their billboards and leaflets? If BJ is still Prime Minister and he's still clinging on like a stubborn barnacle at the next election." No, I don't think they should use Scream by Edvard Munch. No, leave it alone. It's a piece of art. It's just become like a joke. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be, a peek into the condition of like a desperate mental state. Come to think of it, yeah, they should actually do that straight away. Tottenham. Hello, Tom.
I'm here.
Well,
in March, yes, I'm here. Okay, I know it's only a second.
I'm here.
In March, I thought, oh, thank God. Or maybe April, very March, April. I turned the heating off. I saved the money.
Yeah.
But when the 25 degrees hit, I'd forgotten how much I love it. The weather is fantastic.
It's not fantastic. It's
isn't
not
it?
fantastic at the moment. It's pretty rubbish at the moment. Cool, I'd say. I'm wearing 2 layers of wool right now, and I'm thinking of putting a
You
third
have
one
to
on.
learn to love, Nick.
No, I don't.
Nick,
no,
you
no.
I'm learning to become love.
You're learning to become love.
Well, I'm working on it.
Don't you
What do
mean?
you want?
Don't you mean loved?
No. Well, that doesn't sound too bad, actually. I could use a bit.
Right. Well, so far this show makes absolutely no sense to me. How about you? Pretty alarming that I'm running it and I've still got absolutely no clue, not a single idea of where it is we're going. Maybe the sat nav knows. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC.
Stella texts, archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered a chocolate covered in nuts. Oh, this sounds like a setup to a joke. A joke?
Oh, no.
Not a listener with material, surely. I'll read it to myself and then see if it's worth passing on. Stella text, archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered a chocolate covered in nuts. No. And furthermore...
No.
Less material. Appreciate it. Luca in Surrey emails, many thanks for the trip down memory lane last week and your stories about the gifted Mr. Everett. It prompted me to get onto YouTube and find audio clips of his shows and jingles. I found many of the classics from his Capital Saturday shows, which I listen to religiously, including Let's Have a Little Breaky Poo. It's just the silliest thing they used to come up with. He used to play it just before he went into a break. And it had a noise on the end of it that I can't really repeat for you. I can't recreate it for you. If you know it, then you'll know what I'm getting at. But it went something like, let's have a little breaky poo. 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 No, can't do that. I'll go higher. Let's have a little breaky poo. There you go. We'll be back in just a sec. And then it went, something like that. Oh, talk about funny. It was when he did it. Rona says, evening, Nick. Did you hear that the Rachel Venables interview with Smug? No. Good God, there are no broadcastable words I can use about that man. I use the word lightly. I don't have enough tequila in the house to blot out the memory of that interview.
Booze.
No, I did not. Rachel Venables interview with Smug. No, I missed that one. What did he say? Did he say this?
Yeah. Wait.
I expect he probably did, yeah. This says, evening, Nick. Did you hear about Robinson and Wimbledon? There's more stuff I haven't heard about. I laughed out loud this morning when Nick F. said their partnership is over as Wimbledon did not want to advertise Gatorade. I guess they've watched Idiocracy too. Gatorade? That's... Still, I've got no idea what's going on this show. Robinson's barley water, is that what you're talking about? And Wimbledon, they're not not sponsoring it anymore. It's like, oh, who cares? Gatorade. That's that fizzy American drink that sports persons pour all over the coach if they've done well. They don't actually they don't drink it. They just use it as a shower. Newbury. Hello, Colin.
Yeah, how are you doing, Nick?
All right, thanks.
You all right? Yeah, I mean, just commenting on old Boris with his mates in a room paying 20 grand a piece.
Oh.
It puts a new angle on a room full of liars. To be honest, where I come from, there's a saying, a room full of liars. Don't trust them.
Newbury?
No, I'm from the north of England. I live in Newbury.
Right, okay.
But the bloke's just got this country a laughing stock. It's just a joke.
Yeah, it's one of those unfunny jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Like alternative comics.
Well, he is a comedian, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, not really, no. That joke ain't funny no more.
It's
All right.
not.
OK, thanks a lot, Colin. Very, very upset. He's not disappointed, he's just very angry. So I thought I'd look at newspapers that I wouldn't ordinarily peer at, just to see how they treated this massive loss of, their boy. To see how the billionaire tax-avoiding foreign offshore media barons viewed these terrible losses. Considering how much money and headline space they have devoted to keeping him in power. And they're not happy. This is the Telegraph. It says the Conservatives are fighting a war on two fronts. 6 years to the day that the new political battle lines were drawn after the outcome of the Brexit vote. Thursday's by-election results highlighted the cracks appearing in both the Tory heartland and the red wall seats in the north of England. Cracks? there ain't no wall there no more. In Tiverton and Honiton, a true blue seat held by the Tories since its creation in 1997, the Liberal Democrats toppled to a 24,000-odd majority. I suspect that the people of Tiverton and Honiton are in danger of being privatised. You're all going to jail. 10 years. Oh, that was the wrong one. That was close. It was right next to the one I was after. Never mind. Didn't make any sense, but then nothing has on this show so far. Fits right in. I can still hear you. Either that or my chair's squeaking. There's something very odd. Maybe there's a ghost in the house. Get Ardeen Taylor on the phone. He'll sing it for us.
Rock and roll!
In Tiverton and Honiton in Devon, the Liberal Democrats benefited from Labour's decision not to campaign hard for the seat. Yeah, about blooming time that opposition parties got their heads together. Instead of scrabbling over the same votes, by which method the Tory party will just step over their wrestling form and take the tape. The party's vote share fell more than 15%, resulting in candidate Liz Pole losing her deposit. The victory is the latest in a string of positive by-election results for the Lib Dems after the party claimed Chesham and Amersham and North Shropshire last year, wherever they are. Both seats were previously Conservative safe seats. Not safe no more. Labour and the Lib Dems trail the Conservatives by fewer than... Here's the big one. This is the stat to keep in mind. Massive, massive swing in those seats. The Liberal Democrats and the Labour Party trail the Conservatives by fewer than 10,000 votes in 120 constituencies across the UK. If there's a swing in the same manner across the UK as was experienced in the two by-elections, that would be an almost total wipeout of the Conservative Party. Wouldn't that be sad? For Labour, around two-thirds of the Tory marginals are located in the north of England, including all of the seats taken from the party in the last election in the so-called Red Wall. If the swing against Johnson's party was to be replicated across the country, says the Telegraph, 322 seats would be lost, a near eradication of the Conservative Party. But despite concerns about the Tory campaign machine back in Westminster, many believe that Boris Johnson's own personal unpopularity is the driving force behind recent defeats. 3 cheers for Boris Johnson. Hip hip. Boo! By this point in their administration, only 2 other prime ministers in the last 40 years have been so unpopular. This is the guy that's supposed to be so popular that they're going to rest all of their faith on him to lead them through the next election. He's more unpopular than practically any single person in this country, Boris Johnson, right now, while maintaining that if they defenestrate him, if they chuck him out, then the Tories will lose because of it. I mean, deluded doesn't even come into it. By this point in their administration, only 2 other prime ministers in the last 40 years have been so unpopular. In September 93, John Major was tackling a struggling economy, spiking inflation and a disunited Conservative Party. In May 2019, Theresa May had effectively lost her argument on Brexit and the support of her MPs. One slogged on for another 4 years. The other resigned just 2 weeks later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Bodge.
Bye-bye.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. How about... oops. Oh, I don't know what I've done there. I've never done that before. Oh, there you go. Don't worry, everything is under control. Swindon. Hello, Carrie.
Right, this is going to be weird, okay?
Well, it has been so far.
Right, do you remember when I phoned you a long time ago and told you about Star Wars?
No.
And Joseph Campbell?
Oh, no.
Okay. Right, okay. I now know what's happening.
What is happening? Mm-hmm. Lay it on us, baby.
Okay.
Could you stop breathing down the phone? Seriously, it's freaking me out.
It's all right.
No, it's not all right.
It's my voice. It's my voice.
Okay, then.
Okay, listen. Just so the listeners can do some homework, you don't have to do it.
Homework? But miss, it's the weekend.
They can find this out when they listen to your podcast.
Right.
Okay? And look into it then.
Yeah.
Okay? So that they will then understand, right? And then they'll all phone you up and they'll all talk about this as well.
Talk about what? What is it that you're saying, Carrie?
I'm going to tell you now.
Yes. Right.
Previously,
that was the warm-up, the preamble to this amble. Go on.
Previously, when I told you the story of Star Wars, and I didn't know who Vladimir Putin was.
So you know the story of Star Wars, but you don't know who Vladimir Putin is.
Darth Vader was Adolf Hitler, right?
I didn't know that.
Obi-Wan Kenobi was Rudolph Hess.
Right.
Boris Johnson was Jabba the Hutt. We did talk about this a long time ago, right?
I've tried to forget it. Thanks for reminding me.
No, I assessed it now. This goes on, right? Okay? Right. Vladimir Putin is now Darth Vader.
Right.
Vladimir Putin is now within the dark side.
Carrie.
And Boris Johnson has become...
Carrie. Carrie, can you pop this down on a postcard for me and stick it in the post? Send it to the following address. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. I've got one question. What? I know it's not me. I mean, I ain't done nothing. This show was like this when I got here. Sam in Reddish if indeed there is such a place, Sam in Reddish texts, Nick, if Bodger does actually end up going, do you think his replacement will keep the wallpaper? Well, having seen a picture of that designer's work, I think if they did keep the wallpaper, then they'd need a stack of aspirin boxes, because that stuff is headache-inducing. Why would anybody pay to have their rooms look like that? Weird. This says the sports drink Gatorade was developed at the University of Florida, whose nickname is the Gators, and that is why it's called Gatorade, a play on lemonade and orangeade, a useless but interesting fact. No. It's useless, all right. Not sure about the rest of it. Let's see. Oh, I'm snowed under with texts and emails. How do these people get my number? Sue emails, I'm slightly confused by the woman from Peru waiting at a bus stop in Hull who was talking about Pinochet. I thought he was Chilean, or am I missing something? Well, somebody's missing something, Sue. I don't think it's you. Maybe it's me.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Well, can I come off the air in about 2.5 hours? I'll have a breakdown then. It's a deal. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. How are you doing?
I am great, mate.
Great. Being as you brought Tiverton up, something struck me as a bit ironic, really. The Lib Dem guy that won in Tiverton is ex-British Army Major. Man of discipline and self-discipline. Not too surprising he beat a candidate who had all these sort of sticky fingerprints of Boris Johnson on them. when you think about discipline and self-discipline and what people stand for in this country and what they vote for, which is honesty and integrity, we hope.
Well, they obviously don't vote for honesty and integrity because what we've been told over and over again is that the good people of this country knew who Boris Johnson was when we elected him. Therefore, we do not vote for honesty and integrity. It's the opposite of that. We vote for our own naked self-interest.
They've learnt the lesson now, though, but that wasn't why I really rang up, Nick. What really annoyed me this week was the Daily Mail are at it again. This week, they dug up a poll among of building workers and discovered that two things they did was they don't eat some full Englishes, and they are interested in British history. But the crucial part of the article was that they are talking to each other more about feelings and emotions.
Feelings and emotions.
Boring!
Yeah, it sounds like a film that I don't want to see.
So the Mail announced building workers are going woke. They talk about their emotions and feelings. Yeah. And this is serious because two of the worst professions in England for male suicide is construction and farming. Right. And they're taking the mickey out of building workers for talking to each other. Yeah, it's what the Conservative Party and their abetting media outlets are going to be running the next election on. Woke. Culture wars. Nonsense, confected culture wars. That's what it's all about. And I mean, I did laugh. I couldn't be bothered to read the article because it was just so silly. I mean, their proposal was just so ridiculous that I just couldn't be bothered. But the headline was something like, builders go woke because they don't, as you said, they don't eat a full English breakfast anymore and they talk about their feelings.
Disgusting.
Like that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Can I just mention one quick thing?
Well, I don't know. Is it about your feelings?
No. There are two charities running the building industry for people feeling suicidal. So if anyone needs help, please just Google building industry suicides, and they'll find these two charities that can help them.
I believe that the Samaritans are available night and day, and they are there to listen to you, which is what a lot of people need. They need to be listened to, and they're there for you all the time. Thanks a lot, Mike. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, just absolute. I mean, you've run out of things to propose to the electorate when you come up with nonsense like that. Woke. Obsessing about statues and rewriting history, and God, it's just all so pathetic. But that's what we're going to get for the next couple of years, and they're going to ramp it up. You ain't seen or heard nothing yet. They're going to try to divide us all on lines of wokeness or not, and paint it as being a bad thing. What does woke mean? Being concerned for the feelings of others? I mean, you tell me. But that, being concerned for the feelings of others, is now a negative, apparently. What a brave new world we're in. 0345 6060 973. Let's have a call in New Malden. Hello, Sarah. Sarah. Oh, Sarah. Too late. Let's have Selby. Paul.
Oh, hello, Nick. Good evening.
Paul.
I did phone about Glastonbury, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but also, I think I might have been cancelled today.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I made a couple of unfortunate comments, completely unintentionally, to some sort of trans-type people, and got an awful lot of stick, so I think I've been cancelled.
Right.
But that wasn't why I phoned up. I mean, that was just what happens in Selby, really.
It's an aside. Right. So, Glastonbury.
Yeah, I was going to a car to go to the shop, but anyway, never mind. Listen, Glastonbury, I watched it tonight for a couple of hours before waiting for you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched the first people on. BBC, really good coverage, got to say. Was Crowded House from Australia, who I've never really been that interested in.
What, Australia?
Oh my God,
You've never been interested in Australia? That seems a bit of an extreme position to hold.
Yeah. But anyway, Crowded House, I'm sure you know about it.
Oh, Crowded House, yes. Well, it's just one bloke, isn't it? Or two blokes? How many blokes is it?
Well, there was actually probably about 4 or 5.
4 or 5 blokes, yeah, but I mean the actual Crowded House person, I think it's one bloke, isn't it? Or two. I can't remember whether it's one chap or a duo. But they may have a larger band. Let's not argue about that.
You're like me, because I don't really know much about them.
No.
You're getting mixed up with the Finn brothers in New Zealand, who were like the Beatles sort of stuff, you know.
What was their band's name?
In one day.
What was their band's name?
4 seasons in one day. That is something like that. It was the brothers Finn, F-I-N-N.
Right, F-I-N-N. Yeah.
You will anyway. Brilliant.
I would look it up, but homework.
No, don't do that. You've got a iPlayer. You can watch.
I haven't got an iPlayer.
Yes, you have. You must have preview. I've got that.
Oh, that, yeah. How did the BBC getting away with calling their offering an anything? You'd have thought that Apple would have been all over them and sue them into a black hole in space. How are they getting away with that?
I really don't know, but as far as, I've never been to Glastonbury, Nick, and I wouldn't.
No, I'm not sure I'd go now. It's too big.
No,
just way too big. Too many people. It's just a nightmare getting around.
Yeah, apparently the atmosphere there is brilliant. But
I'm sure.
The last one I went to was Reading in 1973.
Wow, 1973. Who was playing at Reading in 1973?
Rory Gallagher, The Faces, Status Quo, Genesis, Alex Harvey Band.
Oh,
all sorts of people.
You had me at Genesis, and you had me at the entire list. The Alex Harvey Band.
Yeah, and I'd already seen a couple of times up north in Donington.
Well, that was the first gig I ever saw, the sensational Alex Harvey Band. Like getting chucked in at the deep end.
When he came on with his hair all slicked back, and the guitarist Zach Clemenson was a clown and all that sort of stuff.
I know it's not very PC these days, but the first gig I ever saw started with the set looked like an alley in Glasgow, and there was scaffolding and so on. It was all brick walls, and the searchlight played over the stage and then concentrated on one bit of a brick wall. And my introduction to rock music was Alex Harvey kicking through the brick wall dressed as Hitler. Probably wouldn't do that today, but it was pretty exciting at the time, I can tell you. Anyway, Paul, I think we've strayed down memory lane a little too long, but thanks for that.
Okay,
Cheers, mate.
Nice speech, man.
Ta-da, 0345 6060 973. Who's Billie Eilish? I know that makes me sound pretty old, but I've got no idea who she is. She's about 12, isn't she? How's she doing the main stage at Glastonbury? It used to be big bands. Who's Billie Eilish? I bet my glamorous assistant knows. Who's Billie Eilish?
An amazing singer.
Amazing singer. Oh, amazing like science fiction, you mean? Ian in Kidlington says, remember, if Bodge leaves, his leaving party isn't a party, it's a work event. But this time probably with fewer people there than the last time he had a work event. Yeah, pretty ironic, really. It's just so totally on brand that in the same week that they suffer two massive losses in by-elections, probably because of having parties, they have another party. Surprising, no?
No.
Not really, no. And this time the party was all about the money, honey. At the Tory summer fundraising party this week, bids for dinner with Bodge reached £120,000, which is not as bad a value as it sounds because he does provide his own fridge. London's V&A Museum was taken over by the Tories. How did they do that then? Can I have London's Victoria and Albert Museum for the venue for my next party?
No.
Apparently not. I thought they were supposed to be impartial, it being a charity and all, the V&A. Prices ranged from $12,500 for a standard table to up to £20,000 to sit next to a cabinet minister.
What?
Wow. I wonder if they get to choose the cabinet minister or whether it was just like potluck. Because some people would be seriously disappointed. Hey, guess who you're sitting next to?
Oh, no.
Yeah. That'll be £20,000, please. I mean, how is this allowed? How is this legal? They're having a fundraiser in a place that's not supposed to be politically active, the V&A Museum, and they're nakedly selling themselves like prostitutes for whoever stumps up the highest amount. 20 grand to sit next to a cabinet minister, during which time, of course, you would not attempt to engage that minister on a subject that is close to your business interests. Goodness me, no, that's right out. I mean, really. The auction for a cosy dinner with Bodger Johnson, Theresa May and David Cameron raised £120,000. And it was that expensive, of course, because not only would those three people not be sitting on the same table, they wouldn't even be in the same restaurant. You'd have to hop between restaurants. Cabinet ministers in attendance at the bash included, but were not limited to, Chancellor Fishy Sunak, Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries, Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, Health Secretary Sajid Javid, Welfare Secretary Therese Kofi, where's that? Oh, there it is, and Business Secretary Kwesi Kwarteng. Hey, Zahawi wasn't there with his. You could whip out his numbers for you.
So obviously, but I know certainly.
Yeah, and that's just him choosing which starter he wants. I mean, can you imagine? Rishi Sunak, Nadine Dorries, Liz Truss, Sajid Javid, Therese Kofi and Kwesi Kwarteng. I mean, it sounds like a remake of The Addams Family. Sounds like a Stephen King film. Can you imagine in all your worst nightmares sitting down to dinner with this lot? Lubov Chernukin, the biggest female political donor in British history, also attended the do. In auctions at previous year's events, this was the person that won a tennis match with Bodger Johnson and a girls' night out with Theresa May and Liz Truss, and a private dinner with the then Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson in the Churchill Rooms. With Admiral Lord Sir Gavin Williamson in the Churchill War Rooms. Wow, I bet that made him feel patriotic.
I just reckon we've got the very best people in this country, much better than the French have, much better than the Belgians have, much better than the Americans have. That doesn't surprise me at all, because we're a much better country than every single one of us.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Please hold the line. I'm trying to connect you.
Yes, momentarily I'll be connecting somebody in Spain. I'll get to that in just a minute. Terry from Eastington texts, hello Nick. Although Wimbledon and Robinsons have parted ways, the relationship remains cordial. Oh, I've been sideswiped. Cordial.
Oh, no.
A listener with material. Damn it! How did that one get through? Right, here's a caller in Spain. That's a bit vague. Mike, where are you?
It's Mike. I'm in Spain.
Yeah, I know that, but where in Spain?
Torrex. I'm in Torrex, near Malaga. North of Malaga, about 45 minutes.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Very nice.
Up a mountain. Hilly.
Yeah, well, near a mountain, yeah. Now, I just want to say that I was in Manchester Airport this morning, and I parked my car in Terminal 1, and I was in departures within 20 minutes. No queues for bag drop, no queues through security, and I got there an hour early because of all the queues from all the news hype.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, no queues. I was straight through.
Wow.
So, it's propaganda.
Propaganda. Propaganda? With what intent?
Well, it was news hype. It was so smooth. It was great.
Right. Well, maybe the consequence of all those news stories are showing people what a nightmare airports were. Maybe that's caused them to all not go to the airport.
Maybe.
Yeah. What's the weather like there in Spain at the moment there, Mike?
It's beautiful.
Yes, thank you, but we do not wish to know that. 0345 6060 973. Susan texts, "Hi Nick, I've just turned Billie Eilish off. Absolutely no singing involved. No thanks," says Susan. She's not saying no, she's saying no thanks. I mean, good manners don't cost nothing, do they?
Be polite!
Chris in Wales says, "Nick, Big Dog is not just for elections, he's for life." Yeah, I think we need to drive that big dog out to the motorway and just open the door. Off you go. Fred says, "Don't ever do that, by the way." Fred says, "Well, Nick, if I ever go to Glastonbury, I'm going in 1973.
Rock and roll!
No, that chap that I was talking to earlier on, he wasn't describing Glastonbury in 1973. He was talking about Reading. I didn't know Reading Festival was that old. But what a lineup. From that list he gave us, all I can remember was Genesis, the sensational Alex Harvey band. I would cross a country to go and see that lineup. I'd cross a country to go see the sensational Alex Harvey band in 1973. And never mind about Genesis. Darwin, Tony.
Good evening.
Yes, Tony.
How do? I was just wondering, with Boris losing and all that, if he gets voted out and the Remainers get their way, does that mean we'll lose our pound and stuff like that, and then get in Brussels telling us how we're going, what to do with this country and stuff?
Which way did you vote in the Brexit referendum,
Do you
Tony?
know what, I can't say because I didn't vote.
Oh, God. You didn't vote?
I don't. The thing is, they're all as bad as one another, lies and all that lot. Like chains holding up the country and stuff like that. Do you know, I had an idea. You know, when the nurses want a bit of pay rise, why don't the government give the expenses up and the free food and give that to nurses instead of them rich ones or millionaires?
Right, this is this northern humour I've heard so much about, Tony. MPs giving up some of their money.
Well, I know they won't.
No, they won't. Not now, not ever, never. But keep thinking, Tony. Promise me you'll do that. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. This text says, maybe they chose the Victoria and Albert Museum because the haunted pencils... That's James O'Brien's name, isn't it? The Haunted Pencil. Yeah. Good one. From the top. Hi, Nick. Maybe they chose the Victoria and Albert Museum because the Haunted Pencil smug felt comfortable since he was probably around when it was first built. Is that true?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything.
Doesn't know anything. I believe him. With every word that he says on any given subject, it just becomes more and more apparent.
I don't know anything.
That he doesn't know anything. Derek texts, Nick, last week the conversation covered the negative aspects of feeding ducks bread. What does it cost to feed the birds nowadays? It used to cost twopence a bag. Yeah, it'll cost you your liberty, mate. You're going straight to jail. Isla White. Hello, Billy.
Oh, Nick.
Billy.
How are you?
Great, mate.
Oh, good, good. I'll tell you what, you're on fire tonight, and I was scared of calling in, but I've got to call in and talk to you about Rees-Mogg.
I'm on fire?
The way you dumped that earlier caller at the beginning of the show, I almost had to spit my tea out.
I can't remember back that far, but I'm sure I was firm but fair.
You always are, Nick. You sort the wheat from the chaff quite professionally, I must say.
Unfortunately, so much chaff. But go on.
Well, I wanted to talk about Rees-Mogg because, I mean, it's quite coincidental that it's almost as if you know that's what I wanted to talk about. Because I listened to it this afternoon. I was tapping away on my keyboard and having my Sonic at the same time.
Yeah. What was in it?
And it wasn't fish fingers, that's for sure.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. I mean, I know that's been in the news this week, but fish finger sandwich.
No, it wasn't
talking.
fish fingers.
I know you said that, but I'm just dreaming about one right now. Is it okay if I can dream? Are we allowed to dream anymore?
Well, that's what Rees-Mogg is doing right now.
Yeah.
So I suppose it is okay now. I mean, I do agree with you.
So what was in the sandwich there, Billy? You haven't told us yet. We're on the edge of our seats.
I know you're probably. It was red onion and it was cheese and red onion in a baguette.
Right, is that it?
Yeah, really nice.
What,
it was
nothing to wet it with.
Oh God, no! I can't, honestly, I don't understand people that put mayonnaise in their baguettes and sandwiches. There's something wrong with them.
How about butter?
Oh yeah, I put butter in.
Well, see, you didn't mention that. That changes a sandwich entirely. You put butter in it. How about some lettuce? Because that would really make it crunchy and moist.
Oh God, no! No, just red onion and cheese, Nick.
I think that's the first time anybody has thought of lettuce and said, "Oh God, no." That bad, eh? It's just crunchy water. How can anybody object to lettuce?
Well, I mean, they seem to have reduced in quality. I heard someone a long time ago on this station. I don't know which show it was because I listen to LBC quite a lot, and all different presenters. And someone mentioned about lettuce. I don't know where this conversation has gone there, but someone mentioned about lettuce, reducing in quality, and I do agree with them. Like, it's just this soggy mess nowadays. Reducing
in quality? The taste of it?
I think the texture. It used to be really crunchy. When you used to buy an iceberg lettuce.
Oh, iceberg lettuce.
It used to be the best 45p I'd spend in the supermarket.
Yeah.
But obviously with prices being what they are now. And
it's almost as though they've taken out every other leaf in an iceberg lettuce, because they used to be so hard that you could use them as a bowling ball. But now they're kind of squashy. Is that what you mean? I think that's probably right. It's like there's air in them now. Like they've force-grown them to appear big, but they're not actually. If you reduced it and concentrated it like they used to be, then it would look half the size. So it's like chocolate bars. They've changed the wrapper to make it appear bigger, while giving you less delicious chocolate.
They call it shrinkflation, don't they? Or something? I think that's the word they use.
I like that. Shrinkflation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the end of our little sojourn together, Billy. If only we knew what it was that you had called in about, then we'd probably be greatly improved as human beings. But time stands still for no man. It's your fault for going on about sandwiches. Better luck next time, Billy. 0345 6060 973.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Anybody care what this guy thinks?
Here are the studio calls flashing up on the indicator.
Yes, a lot of studio calls flashing up on the indicator. Some text and tweets first, though, because I've got about 56 pages of these to get through. I'm never going to do it. Paul texts, I'm 54 and I love Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish redoubling her security as I speak. George emails, Nick, I was at that Reading 1973 gig too. No video footage survives, but there's a live vinyl album of it. Sadly, no Alex Harvey on it. We need a time machine. Keep rocking, says George. Oh, okay then.
Rock and roll!
A live vinyl album of the Reading 1973 gig. That would be a long album, because it was like all day, wasn't it? I mean, by the lineup that chap earlier on mentioned, it sounds like it was a whole weekend. It's a very, very big vinyl album. Huge. Mike in Ipswich says, Nick, it's a rare planetary alignment just before dawn which could make Steve Allen DJ to the end of existence. Perhaps leave some cake out for him. Does that make any sense at all?
No.
Shall I read it again?
No.
Okay then. Dollar in Scotland. Brian.
Hello.
Where's Dollar?
About 11 miles from Stirling.
Oh, beautiful up there.
Well, you've got Ochil Hills are quite nice. You've got Wallace Monument.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stirling is a stunning place. Stirling.
Well, Dollar's even better.
Is it? Good for you, Brian. Yeah, don't take any nonsense from me. Go ahead.
I just phoned up because you started talking about Alex, and Alex Harvey is also his band.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Alex in 60-61 at the smallest county in Scotland, called Clackmannanshire. in a place called Abbot, at Abbot Town Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a night off. I was in a band myself. I was quite young, you know. And anyway, Alex came off the stage at half-time and came in back, dressed in tights, on the dance floor in a leopard skin cape. And he started singing the song, Who's Afraid of the Big Bamboo? And I'll never forget the chorus line. Maybe I shouldn't say it this time.
Well, now, hang on a minute. No. You see, he's winding himself up for something that we probably shouldn't broadcast on the radio. Am I right in thinking that, Brian?
Sorry?
Well, don't ever do that again.
Well, the song was, Daddy, 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 when you put out the light.
Yeah, no, I feel that I don't want to hear the rest of it. Don't you? Yeah, thanks a lot, Brian. You've delighted us enough. Send it to me on an email. I feel that the next thing that he was going to say was going to be something that we shouldn't ought to broadcast.
Warning, warning.
I'm going with my gut feeling. Thanks a lot, Brian. Cheers. Appreciate it. Martin in Northampton says, Nick, you should check out Rachel Venable's interview with Reese Smug. A highlight was cheaper fish fingers from the EU. Oh, I did see that. Well, I saw him, like, whittering on. You know, like that. Like pushing his spectacles up his nose. A highlight was cheaper fish fingers from the EU, a benefit of Brexit. But by Smug's logic, these fish fingers are made from unhappy fish. Is it safe to eat unhappy fish? No, it isn't. That's where he was whittering on about signs in the Dartford Tunnel, right? God, I mean, really. I want the names of the people who are responsible for this situation we find ourselves in. Ian emails, Nick, Billie Eilish is sensational. I found her after Anne Nightingale chose to take one of her songs to her desert island. Huh. Paul says, Anne Nightingale, she played a request for me once when I was very, 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 very young. It might have been Ian Dury. Because I saw Ian Dury either just before or immediately after. Yeah, I think it was just before he released New Boots and Panties. And the single Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll had just come out. But on the B-side of that was a thing called Razzle in My Pocket. Wow, I just pulled that out of the air. I can't believe it. I can remember the B-side of a single that I bought in 1977, however long ago that was. And I have absolutely no idea what happened at the beginning of this show. Weird, yes?
Yes.
A little bit. And she played Razzle in My Pocket for me. Now, either I've made that memory up and planted it in my brain, you know, like in that movie, that completely unfathomable movie by the bloke, you know, with the guy in it. What's it called? Exactly. You know, this is the only thing on LBC at the minute. You believe that? Ian emails, no, Paul texts, if you want to have a healthier breakfast, eat your Daily Mail and read your cornflakes. That's not a bad idea. I'll try that, Paul. New Malden. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Nick. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I've had to move from Surrey to Wiltshire for health reasons.
What? Why? No, hang on a minute. What, you had to move from Surrey to Wiltshire for health reasons? What? Surrey was making you ill?
No, I kept falling over, and in fact, I managed to do that in a 12th century church on Tuesday,
right,
on the disabled ramp, which was very embarrassing.
Well, Surrey does that to a person, makes them fall over. I don't know what it is about Surrey, probably the hills, but go on.
Well, no, there's a lot of hills here, but I just wanted to say my biggest fear was that I wouldn't be able to get you every weekend like I always look forward to Friday, Saturday and Sunday night. So thank you very much. I think you're great, hilarious, and that's just fantastic that you're on.
Well,
So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah. We are reaching Wiltshire. Wherever that is. Appreciate it, Sarah. Don't fall down again. Be very, very careful. Promise me you'll do that. Thanks, Sarah. 0345 6060 973. What a nice lady. This text says they are using less light to grow the iceberg lettuce. Cheaper to grow, softer product. Less light. What? We're having to ration light now. You know, if they could actually charge us for the light that comes from the sun, if they could figure out a way to do it, they'd have done it by now. I think some ministers are itching to privatise the sun. Not that sun, the actual sun. Rex emails, I had no idea who Alex Harvey was until after you mentioned your willingness to drive across the country to hear him. Now that I have listened a bit, I might drive across Ohio or maybe a few other states, but driving to Scotland from Ohio might be a stretch. Thanks for the Alex Harvey mention, says Rex. Yeah, well, I've got bad news for you, Rex. Yeah, there's something standing in between you driving anywhere and hearing Alex Harvey. Unfortunately, he's feeling a little bit dead at the moment. Or he was last time I checked. It's not the hearing that is the thing, although this is, like one of my favourite albums is SAHB Stories. It's the watching. I mean, he had a stage act, it was absolutely remarkable. One of the best that I've ever seen. Him and Ian Dury, the two best that I ever saw. For a stage act, which seems to have been, that the whole act thing seems to have been lost a bit on this is another way in which the kids are just, they're disappointing me. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. And there'll be a load of kids with no act on at Glastonbury this week. It'll be just one after the next. DULL boring. Very disappointing. Never mind, eh? I hope that Paul McCartney doesn't do that, because there's two things that he could do. He could just do the Beatles hits and then do his thing where it's na 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 na, now all the girls, hey Jude, and that goes on for like 10 minutes. Please no. Or he could do the set that he did at the Cavern. Now there's a video of him doing that, and it can't have been very long ago. He's 80 years old. I think he's even older than Mick Jagger, isn't he? But the Cavern set was fan-bloomin-tastic. And he was doing, some Beatles things, but a lot of his early solo material, like a Band on the Run, stuff like that, which is great. And so if he does that, then I'm fully on board, 2 thumbs up. Talking about the Stones, by the way, I mean, I know they're old, but there's an album that's just become available that I listened to all the way through just this week, and it was just, so good. It's a live album. It's a double live album of I think it's called the Macambo, something like that. It's a club in Toronto. And I think the story goes something like Keith was going through airport security to go to Toronto. I may have some of these details wrong, but I think he was carrying something that he shouldn't order.
Want to score some pot?
Or something along those lines. And the Toronto police, the security staff at the airport said, hello, hello, hello. Or whatever they say in Canada. And they said, right, you're nicked, sunshine. And he had to stay in Toronto, and so he was stuck in this hotel. But they played 2 gigs in this tiny little venue called the Macambo. I think I'm getting this right. And they have been bootlegged. Those concerts are legendary, and they were bootlegged for the longest time. And now they're out in super high def, baby. And they are great. Seek it out and thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC. Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Right,
Right, so what are we doing?
Given we're doing a radio show, but it does remind me that I do a podcast with the delightful Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
In which we try to solve people's problems while laughing our faces off. This week, the one that's coming out on Monday, I'm just editing it down now. I'm taking all the swear words out and putting that over them. Very, very rude, Carol.
Disgusting.
Dreadful person. She does have a tendency to swear her face off. Doesn't do it when she's on TV. Only does it when I have to go and clean up her mess after her. This week we are... what are we talking about? Oh, she makes a promise to me, personally, and I'm going to keep her to it. I'm going to hold you to that promise, Carol.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to cost you big time.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not going to be happy. It's coming out on Monday. There's over 100 up there at the moment. If you wish to be amused and you've got an hour spare, then it'll be right up your alley. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol. It's found on the Global Player. You should have Global Player in your life. It's got all of the stations we do, all of the podcasts. If you do a internet search on my name, Nick Abbott Podcast, then all three will come up as though by magic. Let's have a call in Glasgow. Eric.
Hello, Nick.
Eric.
Hello. We're all talking about this weather all about poor Mr. Your Prime Minister and my Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson.
Yeah, not my Prime Minister.
Well, it's if you live in the United Kingdom of our finest, greatest Britain, then it will be your Prime Minister, Nick, unless you live in another country.
Okay.
That's fact. Anyway, go on to...
We're not interested in facts on this show, but go ahead.
Well, Nick, what I'm trying to imply on is you wouldn't be like to have his shoes at the minute.
No.
Being the most wanted man in Russia. He's done rather well considering the war. And all the wars, especially the war in Afghanistan, where the Americans and the British were defeated by men in sandals riding bicycles. Right. Now, going on to the fact of our next Prime Minister. The next Prime Minister, Nick, is going to be Mr. Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Right,
and he's going to bring some aristocratic stuff back to Britain, because that's what we need.
I can't wait for that, Eric. Thanks a lot for that very, very informative call. 0345 6060 973. Anybody have any idea what that was about?
No.
Not a clue. But it fits right in. Kieran in Luton says, can you imagine Boris Johnson's shoes? I wouldn't pick them up with tongs. Kieran in Luton says, hi Nick, question, have you ever seen Steve Allen and C3... Well, this is just rude. Steve Allen fans are going to have to get their notebook and pencil out because they're going to want to write this down. Oh, Steve, you'd never believe what he said about you now. Kieran in Luton text, this isn't me. This is Kieran in Luton. Thanks a lot, Kieran in Luton, dragging me into it. What's it got to do with me? He says, hi, Nick, question, have you ever seen Steve Allen and C3PO in the same studio? Says Kieran. Well, no, I haven't, as a matter of fact. Very suspicious. Chris says, it's a trap. No, he didn't. He says, I had fish finger butters for my tea. One slice of bread buttered and mayo on the other side. White bread, of course. It's not right on brown. Yum, says Chris. Yes, absolutely. 100%. But I have a way to improve it. Yeah, that's right. I can improve on that. Prepare yourself, Chris. Prepare yourself to be wowed. You toast the bread only on one side. And the crispy side goes outside and the soft, squishy bit goes in the middle to counteract the crunchiness of the fish fingers. You can take that recipe and thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
Let's have... God, it's a very... it's a Scottish heavy show tonight. David in Glasgow.
Hi, Nick.
David.
I was just about to talk about something else, and just as I was talking to your researcher, lo and behold, the heavens opened. It is a monsoon coming down here as I speak. Yeah. and I've not got anything to wear.
You mean you're totally naked?
Disgusting.
I didn't say that.
Right.
I didn't say that.
No, it was the implication.
Something popped up in my memory.
Oh, please. Nobody wants to hear that, David.
You apparently attended a Who concert at Parkhead.
Yeah, I did. 1976? That's my guess. 76?
I think it was a bit later than that, was it not?
No, I don't think so. 76, 77, something like that.
Well, you found yourself in the company of my younger brother.
Oh. Well, there were more people than just the two of us there, I can assure you of that.
And more to the point, why don't more people talk about Rory Gallagher?
Yeah, well, he didn't have a hit, I guess. I mean, what was the most successful thing?
Well, did Led Zeppelin have a hit?
Well, that's a very good point. Did Pink Floyd have a hit? No, they did not.
Absolutely.
But they sold more records. So.
Well, they are. But...
Well, if it's any consolation, David, any time Rory Gallagher comes on the radio, I am turning him up.
Rock and roll!
And thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Unless there was more. I guess we'll never know. I'm rattling through them tonight. Sheila from Hemel Hempstead says, "Hi, Nick. I went to see the sensational Alex Harvey band several times. Alex Harvey was a brilliant performer. He was always slightly menacing. The band didn't get the recognition they deserve." Correctamundo, Sheila. He was menacing, but in a really sort of delicious way. There was the first and second gigs I ever saw. Sensational Alex Harvey band in Edinburgh. And then pretty much the very next week, he was supporting The Who in Celtic Park. Wow, what a gig. I got fired going to that gig. I was working at a restaurant, the Tudor Rose, off Princess Street in Edinburgh. My first ever job. And I got tickets to see The Who. And it was The Who, the sensational Alex Harvey band, Little Feat, Chapman Whitney Streetwalkers, who were amazing, and The Outlaws, as in High Tide and Green Grass. What a lineup. And so I bought the tickets. I think they were like £3 or something outrageous like that. They were giving them away. And I said to my boss, "Well, I'm not coming in next Saturday." And he said, "It's my busiest day. You are coming in." And I said, "I'm not." And he said, "Well, if you don't, you're fired." And I never went back. Never looked back. That started my relationship with modern music.
Rock and roll!
And I'm glad to have lost that job. Although, if I'd stayed there, then can you imagine the salary that I'd be earning right now? And the tips. Eastbourne, Warwick.
Hello, Nick. I'm a big fan of your show. You keep me occupied at work all the time.
Well, thanks, Warwick. What do you do at work?
I work for the NHS as a domestic assistant. So, yeah, you keep me going.
What's a domestic assistant?
So I do all the cleaning within the wards. I work in the mental health department, so do all the cleaning that isn't like bodily fluids and that, and domestic duties.
I get it, right. Okay, well, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, at least you do. The government doesn't seem to.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
You were talking about music, and I just had to phone in and put you onto this YouTube channel that I've been listening to for a while. It's called the Ian Duncan Smiths, and it's like a satirical, like political YouTube channel that do parodies of like all the good stuff, like the Smiths, Stone Roses, and everything. Like, so they debuted with "The Claimant is Dead," which is absolutely hilarious. They've got like Nigel Farage, Reformer, Keir Starmer, The Blair Necessities. They do fantastic parodies. Really good channel.
All right, I'll look it up on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Warwick. Excellent swerve. 0345 6060 973. We do not endorse that channel, being as how we don't know anything about it. And when I say we, I mean I. And that is the official position of LBC. This says, "Whenever I see Bodger holding hands with his wife, he always looks as if he's a little puppy being led by its owner." Yeah, probably because he's got absolutely no idea where he's going next. Come on, Bodger. Paw! What have we done to deserve this? Whatever it was, it must have been pretty bad. We've been naughty. James says, Nick, I am in constant awe of you and your soundboard. What? Just when you think you've heard them all, a new one pops up. It's the best combination of man and machine since T2.
Affirmative.
Yeah. I am living tissue over an endoskeleton. Nana in Chessington says, Nick, my husband has won 2 free tickets for tomorrow night's Stones gig at Hyde Park. Rock and roll. Wow. Well, I'd like to be there, Nana.